In case you didn't know, we are living in regulation nation. It is getting even more expensive. President Obama issued $173 billion worth of regulations since taking office. This is according to New American Action Forum study. The report comes as Donald Trump promises a moratorium on new federal regulation. Brad Blakeman and Julie Roginsky are back with us. Brad, I was looking at some of the most fantastic of the regulations that have come along. There was one on changing the rules on residential refrigerators, which totaled about $27.3 billion. Another on fluorescent lights, very exciting, $19.9 billion. You see these numbers and they look huge, but I think people at home don't realize they're the ones that are paying this bill, because when you buy the fridge and you buy the light bulb, the cost of the regulation is in there. Where am I going wrong, Brad?
No, you're absolutely right. It's a pass-along hidden cost. It's a tax. And let's face it, President Obama does not like going to Congress. And his attitude is, if you don't like what I'm doing, sue me. And we've sued him on regulation. The Supreme Court has slapped him down several times on his overreach. And he tells us, look, he picks up his cell phone and his pen. It's either by executive order or regulation, not legislation. And therein lies the problem. And the next president, if it's Donald Trump, is going to have a huge job to do to not only repeal, but also replace a lot of this regulation that is embedded now in industry.
We want to let Julie get in here because we're running out of time. Looking at the pacing of it, he's already 20% ahead of where George Bush was at the end of his 8 years. So he's got, time to go, and he's already beat him by 20%. Do you feel good about your fridge? Is your fridge safe, Julie?
I hope my fridge is energy efficient, Melissa. I just got a new one. But look, I mean, some of these regulations, I agree with you, are silly and unnecessary. But others, you talked about my fridge, but you have regulations, for example, establishing fuel efficiency for cars. Those are good. They're better for our environment. They save people money ultimately in the long term on gas costs, so on energy costs. So ultimately, look, some of these regulations make sense. Others don't. I'm not a huge proponent of executive orders by any stretch of the imagination. I never was. But again, you have to take each of these regulations as they come. I am sure we could find regulations that are absolutely ridiculous and we oppose them. All of us should oppose them, and some that I think make more sense.